Welcome to Binge Eating Reset. Breaking binge eating. You are now in step 7. In the previous video, you started recognizing your triggers. The moments when you suddenly feel the urge to eat, even though you're not actually hungry. And if you started noticing those moments, then you probably also realized how fast it happens. That moment where you think, I'll just grab something really quick. And before you even realize it, you're already eating. Maybe you're standing in the kitchen. Maybe you're opening a cabinet. Maybe you already have food in your hand. And suddenly, it feels like you're already too far into the moment to stop. And that is exactly what this video is about. Because what do you do in the exact moment it happens? Recognizing the trigger is step 1. But this is where you start breaking the pattern. Because what most people do in that moment is immediately start fighting themselves. Don't do it. Don't eat. I need more discipline. I should be stronger than this. And for a few seconds, maybe that works. But then the urge gets stronger again. And stronger. And stronger. Because the more pressure you put on yourself, the more intense the craving often becomes. And eventually, you feel exhausted from fighting yourself. And that is why we are going to do this differently. We are not going to fight the craving. We are going to interrupt the moment. Because even if it happens fast, there is always a small space between the trigger and your reaction. Even if that space only lasts a few seconds. And that tiny moment is exactly where you can create change. That is where your power is. That is where the automatic binge pattern can begin to break. So the next time you feel a binge urge starting, this is what I want you to do. The moment you notice, I want food, physically stop for a second. Literally stop moving. Are you standing in the kitchen? Do you already have food in your hand? Put it down for a moment. Pause the movement. And I know, that sounds incredibly simple. Maybe even too simple. But simple does not mean ineffective. Because this is exactly how you interrupt autopilot. This is where awareness begins. This is where you stop reacting automatically and start becoming conscious again. Now place your hand on your stomach and slowly breathe in through your nose and slowly breathe out through your mouth. Again, slowly in and slowly out. Feel your body slowing down. Feel your shoulders relax a little. Notice yourself becoming more present again. Do this a few times. Not to make the feeling disappear, not to force yourself to stop craving food, and not to fix yourself, but simply to slow yourself down. To come back to yourself for a moment. To reconnect with what's actually happening inside you. Because when you immediately react, you never get the chance to notice what is really going on. And then ask yourself this question: what is happening inside me right now? Is it stress, boredom, restlessness, exhaustion, loneliness, overwhelm, disappointment, emptiness, frustration? You do not have to describe it perfectly. You only need to notice it. Even awareness alone already changes something. And then, the most important moment begins. You choose. Do I continue automatically, or do I choose something different? And that different choice does not have to be something big. You do not need to completely change your life in one moment. Small choices matter too. Maybe you walk away from the kitchen. Maybe you choose something from the list you made in video 4. Maybe you drink a glass of water. Maybe you sit down quietly for a moment. Maybe you text someone. Maybe you go outside for fresh air. Or maybe you do absolutely nothing for 60 seconds. And honestly, sometimes that alone already changes the intensity of the craving. But the difference now is that you are choosing. Not autopilot, not the craving, you. And listen carefully, you do not need to make the urge disappear. You do not need to become perfect at this. You only need to stop reacting to the urge immediately. That is where real change starts happening. Because every single time you pause, you teach your brain something new. You teach yourself, I do not have to react automatically anymore. And in the beginning, this will definitely not work perfectly every time. Maybe you only remember afterward. Maybe you forget completely sometimes. Maybe you realize it halfway through eating. And that is normal, because this is something you are training. This is a new skill. And every single time you do catch the moment, the old automatic pattern becomes weaker. And your influence becomes stronger. Little by little, moment by moment, choice by choice. And that is where real lasting change begins. In the next video, we're going to make sure this doesn't stay a temporary action, but becomes something you can actually continue long term. Something that slowly starts feeling more natural, more automatic, more you. But for now, this is your only focus. Interrupt the moment. Not perfectly, not every single time, just begin. And let me know in the comments if you managed to catch that moment today. Even once. Because even one small pause is already progress. This is part of Binge Eating Reset, a free step-by-step training to help you break binge eating, emotional eating, food cravings, and food noise. And if you truly want to change this, subscribe to the channel and follow the series from the beginning. Because in the next video, we are taking the next step together.